So on Patreon, we have a level where people make their video requests. I got this video request a long while back, and I'm just getting around to it now. This proves that, yes, I do have a list. I'm aware I have a list. I'm aware that I am behind on some of this stuff, but the list is still there, and I will still honor requests that come in from people at the $6 level. I do requests of other things as well, but this is one of those requests. And it's an interesting one because it's a player that I personally liked his entire career, even though he played for a couple of teams I don't like, but that's fine. In 1990, Sergei Zubov was drafted 85th overall by the New York Rangers. He didn't make his debut in New York until 1992, but he also in 1992 won Olympic gold for the unified team. The 1992 unified team was Russians and other consolidated regions that have recently been declared countries of their own, and they played under a unified flag because up until the Olympics they'd all practiced together anyways and was allowed that one time. It was kind of a strange thing, but Zubov was on that team. He joins the Rangers, has 49 games played, 8 goals, 23 assists, 31 points, and right away Zubov was special with the puck. He was never known as a fantastic defenseman, but the offense was there. 93-94 Rangers, 78 games played, 12 goals, 77 assists, 89 points. Stanley Cup. So you think about the 1994 New York Rangers, who do you think of? Brian Leetch. You think of Mark Messier. Mike Richter. The Oilers that were a part of that team as well. Not a lot of thought is given to Sergei Zubov. I mean, Rangers fans will think of him, but fans outside of New York, probably not a lot. Because Leetch was such an overshadowing presence on that blue line. But Zubov played a key role at points in the playoffs and definitely during the regular season and deserves some credit for that. 94-95, lockout shortened season. I can't say strike shortened because a strike has technically never shortened the season. It's always been a lockout. A lockout shortened season, he plays 38 games, 10 goals, 26 assists, 36 points. The New York Rangers in 95 and years beyond that, winning a cup wasn't enough for them. They wanted to get back and win another one immediately. Gotta get back. We gotta win another one. And the key was young guys were expendable. Young guys could go. And Zubov was considered expendable for whatever reason. So he's traded with Peter Nedved to Pittsburgh for Luc Robitaille and Ulf Samuelsson, which would have been fine if Luc Robitaille was in his prime, but he wasn't. And it would have been fine if Nedved wasn't going to have some very good seasons for Pittsburgh, but he did. It's a trade that favored Pittsburgh, and it's kind of weird because 95-96, the only season Zubov plays for the Penguins, he plays 64 games, 11 goals, 55 assists, 66 points. And I don't know why he didn't stay with Pittsburgh. I don't know if Pittsburgh felt they were in an arms race with the Rangers and they needed to get slower and older too. But he's traded to Dallas for Kevin Hatcher. Now, I like Kevin Hatcher. Let me make this clear that as a Dallas fan, having Kevin and Darian Hatcher together on the blue line was a thing of beauty. It was fun. But getting Zubov for Hatcher kind of felt nice because the league was speeding up and Hatcher wasn't. And, once they cut down on clutch and grab, it did affect certain guys more than others. Not really Zubov. He didn't play that style. 96-97, his first year with the Stars, Zubov plays 78 games, 13 goals, 40 assists, 53 points. Now, Zubov with Dallas from here on, his points per game are lower. But remember, you're in live puck until 95, and then the dead puck era starts. Shortly after that, 95-96, the 66 points in 64 games is impressive. Remember the team he's playing with at that point, too, though, in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of impressive Hall of Fame names on that lineup. And Zubov, 97-98, he has 57 points in 73 games. 98-99, 51 points in 81 games. 1999, Dallas wins the Stanley Cup. So Zubov has a cup in 94, his second year, and he has a cup 5 years later than that in Dallas. Pretty impressive. The question that then gets asked is, okay, so he's got the 94 and 99 cups. He appears in 4 All-Star games, 98, 99, 2000, and then 2008. He's on the NHL's second All-Star team in 2006, which means They sit down and they vote on who the best centers, left wing, right wing defenders, and goaltenders are in the league. And you have your team's first team, your second team made up. So for new fans, that explains second team All-Star. You're going to hear that at the end of the year. But not any awards. He never won a Norris Trophy. So he has 1,068 games played in total. He finished out his career in 08-09 with Dallas. He played 10 games that year, had 4 points. He was past it at that point. 152 goals all told, 619 assists, 771 points. He made $46 million in his career. So he's not hurting. We don't need to have any kind of a telethon for him anytime soon. He's number 2 on the all-time scoring list for Russian defensemen behind Sergei Gonchar. He's number 12 all-time in Russians with points. He's number 2 in assists, and he's number 6 in games played. So the question you can ask yourself about Sergei Zubov is a simple one. Is he a Hall of Famer? I would lean towards no, personally. I would lean towards no because there are no Norris trophies. There was no real accolades for him. He was a very good defenseman. He was a very solid top 2 guy who became a very solid top 4 guy later in his career. If the 04-05 season isn't wiped out by a strike, he probably plays another 80 games, probably gets another 50 points, probably ends up with like 820 points, somewhere in that area. But still, I don't know that I look at him and I say there's a Hall of Famer. I will say he was one of my favorite Dallas Stars. I was very excited when he went to Dallas from Pittsburgh, especially for Kevin Hatcher. I did backflips over that one. And I could never understand why the Rangers didn't hold on to him. I could never understand, and to this day I don't understand why Zubov wasn't a lifetime Ranger. He signed that last contract in Dallas in the summer of 2008 and said he wanted to retire as a Dallas Star, and he had his family was there, and everything that he cared about was there, and how much he loved the city and how much affection he felt towards the city of Dallas. And it's weird because we often see Russians that whether it's right or wrong, they get labeled as not necessarily caring a whole lot. They don't play with the same passion as North American players. You guys have heard the arguments. Zubov had that passion. He was very, very invested in his team. He played for a long time in the NHL. He never bolted to the KHL. When he went to the KHL, it was because the Stars didn't have room for him. So, you know, it was a fun career for him, I would be sure, because, you know, he played 11 years in Dallas, which is fantastic. And, yeah, I don't know what else there is to say other than while he may never make the Hall of Fame for the NHL, he can go in mine. So there you go. I'll go ahead and induct Sergei Zubov into my Hall of Fame at the end of this video, as I've done with a couple of others, because I don't think he ever goes into the NHL Hall of Fame, but he deserves to have his name mentioned somewhere. So there you go. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.